Have you had any personal experience with anxiety, and if so, why? Do you think there's anything in particular that triggers it?
Yes, I think peer pressure at school was the main thing, because you're kind of forced into doing things that maybe you don't want to.
Do you think the use of social media has affected mental health in terms of it being more prevalent now than back when your parents were younger?
Yes, social media has developed in the last couple of years widely. We can access more things such as, like Facebook and Twitter. We can talk to each other a lot more easier rather than face-to-face meet up, which is a good thing but can lead to negative.
Would you say that social media has a good or bad influence on mental health, and why?
It's a bit of a mix, because you just need to watch out for who you talk to and who you talk to online.
Over there. Right. I'm trying to interview Liz, so can you all shut the fuck up?
Everyone shut up!
You got to be in it as well?
No, she's gonna score.
I need to get my phone, it's got questions on it.
Oh.
She do me, she do you, she
Got the gotta love it, love the head, got the sweet side.
I think that's all of it.
Is it?
Oh, I've run out so far!
Why would you only bring one can in?
She's using it later.
Bring them all in.
No, she's
Give us
using
all-
it for a final major project.
I've got 2 air horns as well, so.
Yes, do I get an air horn?
No, she doesn't.
Fuck, do I get a silly spring?
Yeah.
You can get 2 silly strings.
Right,
Oh, yes.
Emma, fuck
Can
off
you
out
have a
shot.
silly string fight?
Bye, guys.
Hi. You going?
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Finished now. Okay,
Bye-bye.
great. What's it feel like?
Wet.
Moist.
How does it feel to you? It's kind of like loom band.
Yeah.
Oh, it's wet.
Let's
No.
move over to your like shimmy that way a bit.
Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy.
But turn your body so that you're facing me, not the camera. Yeah, like that.
Down here with 5 girls, we'll shimmy.
Right, okay, can you all shut up so I can see you live?
Wait. Is that alright where that is?
Yeah, that's fine. Alright.
You better not laugh at me because I'll actually piss myself on camera.
Emma.
Have you had any personal experiences with anxiety, and if so, what do you think that?
Oh fuck, am I going to have to answer this?
Yeah.
I don't want to answer this.
I don't want to either.
Tough. Have you had any personal experience with anxiety, and if so, why? Do you think there's anything in particular that triggered it?
Yeah, I have, and it's mainly triggered by the feeling that people are going to judge me for something. I think that because obviously a lot of people have had past experiences that they have a hard time with, sometimes that carries on through the future, and it can be hard, but yeah.
Do you think the use of social media has affected mental health in terms of being more prevalent now than back when your parents were younger?
Some social media, yes, but some social media can be good for it because obviously there's like online counselling now and stuff, but in other circumstances, like with more mainstream ones like Snapchat, that kind of stuff, sometimes it targets like cyberbullying, that kind of stuff, which can lead to a negative cause.
Would you say that social media has a good or bad influence on mental health, and why?
It can be good because it influences people to like talk to one another. It makes, it can help with counselling, that kind of thing, but a lot of the time it forces people to think badly of themselves. They want to look like someone else, that kind of thing.
Is everyone getting the same questions, or are people getting different questions?
Yeah, all the same questions.
All right, okay then.
Apart from, like, there's a question that says, from back when you were younger. Obviously I won't ask my friends. Back when you were younger, because they are young. Have you had any personal experiences with anxiety, and if so, why? Do you think there's anything in particular that triggers it?
I get quite nervous at things. Do you want me to do that again? Because I itched, and yeah, okay, I'll do it again.
I know I said concise answers, but not that. I get quite nervous at things. I need a little bit more than that. Alright. Have you had any personal experiences with anxiety? And if so, why? Do you think there's anything in particular that triggers it?
For me, I get quite nervous at certain things. Like I started a new job a while ago, and it was just like really stressing me out. I was just trying to keep up with everybody else and be the best I could, but I was putting too much pressure on myself. In the meantime, I've now started another job, but this is more in my comfort zone, so I went into it with a much more chilled out outlook, and it's working for me.
Do you think the use of social media has affected mental health in terms of being more prevalent now than back when you were younger?
I think when I was younger, people didn't talk about it. I think now that social media is, people don't realise actually that what people are putting out there isn't actually what's happening to them. It's like when you see the yoga poses, there's actually somebody holding those feet. You know, not everybody's got a great plate of food that you take a photograph of. So don't look at it and think everybody's life's better, because they're just showing you what they want to show you. They're not showing you what's true.
Would you say that social media has a good or bad influence on mental health, and why?
I think that it's good in the respect that people are out there and they're being honest about it. But I also think that there are some people out there that are just possibly jumping on a bandwagon. And I think that you have to realise that, like I said before, it's not about everybody's life isn't that great all the time, and you've got to people have got to stop comparing themselves to everybody else and just be the best you can be of yourself.
Have you had any personal experiences with anxiety, and if so, why? Do you think there is anything in particular that triggers it?
Yeah, I have had personal experience of anxiety. I used to get quite a lot of anxiety at school. I mean, I think a lot of people get anxiety at school. I think it's because of, or I think anxiety gets better as you get older because you have more experience in dealing with it. And I guess school is probably quite a demanding environment. It's probably the first demanding environment you put into, and I think that's probably why I suffered with a bit of anxiety at school.
Do you think the use of social media has affected mental health in terms of it being more prevalent now than back when you were young?
Yes, I think you were really put under pressure when you were with other people. When I was younger, it was, you know, if you were in school or somewhere else, then you were under pressure then. But now, I think youngsters are put under pressure by social media because there's their posts about them or other people talking about them are easier to come across and find. Whereas if somebody was talking about you when I was young, then the chances are you wouldn't find out about it unless one party told you. So I think, yeah, social media does affect young people in regards to anxiety and pressure.
Would you say that social media has a good or bad influence on mental health, and why?
I think social media has a bad impact on anxiety. I think it's probably one of the major contributing factors to anxiety of young people these days. I think, you know, obviously there's good parts to social media, but I think personally, I think the bad parts of social media outweigh the good parts massively.
Can't clap very loudly. That's good enough. Okay. I had the questions written down on my phone.
That's clever. Saves holding a big book.
Yeah, big book in there. It's really heavy. Okay. Have you had any personal experiences with anxiety, and if so, why? And do you think there's any particular thing that triggers it?
Well, yes. Really mainly work stress. But I did have a period where, following bereavement of my husband, and then my company was bought out by American Express, and all the pressures grew, and I had 2 weeks where I really didn't want to get out of bed. So yeah, I have had personal experience.
I think the use of social media has affected mental health in terms of it being more prevalent now more than back when you were younger.
I think there's far more pressures on people with social media, definitely. I think it's opened up lots of areas where people can be targeted, stress can be added, and therefore, you know, ends up with stress and mental health problems, yes.
And would you say that social media has a good or bad influence on mental health, and why?
It has a good factor in as much as there's more awareness of it. But as you know, I said, the bad factor for me is that it's open to abuse against people, and that can cause quite serious mental health. So really, it's good and bad. And I don't really, I think possibly at this moment in time, the bad outweighs the good.
Have you had any personal experience with anxiety, and if so, why? And do you think there is any particular thing that triggers it?
Well, I have in the past, but not recently. Yes, I have had anxiety, and I've had medication for it at times, but that was years ago. I'm okay now.
And do you think the use of social media nowadays has affected mental health in terms of it being more prevalent now, but more than when you were younger?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Is there any reason why you think that?
Well, yes, because everybody's into one another's affairs all the time on their iPhones and the iPads and stuff, and I think there is too much of that now.
And would you say that social media has a good or bad influence on mental health, and why?
Bad.
Why?
Bad because there's a lot of bullying and stuff like that goes on.